Good day, everyone. Today we will discuss our activity titled Genetic Analysis of COM Type in Chickens. This activity named to explore how specific genetic traits such as COM type in chicken are inherited and how Mendelian and non-Mendelian principles come into play. Through this analysis, we examined monohybrid and dihybrid crosses to uncover the inheritance patterns of P-comp and Rose-comp traits. The main objective of this activity were number 1, to analyze the inheritance patterns of comp types in chicken using monohybrid breed and dihybrid crosses. Number 2, to understand the rules of incomplete dominance and epestasis in shaping phenotype outcomes. Number 3, to apply this concept to predict and explain genetic interaction in other organisms. Let's start with the monohybrid cross of the P-comp trait. We cross heterozygous P-comp chicken PP times PP. Findings, the genotype ratio was PP is equals to 2, then PP is to 1. The phenotypic ratio was 3 P-comp and 1 single comp. This result confirmed Mendelian inheritance, where the dominant allele P determines the P-comp phenotype at the recessive allele PP result in a single comp. Moving to the dihybrid cross, we analyze the interaction between the P-comp or P and the Rose-comp R genes. We cross chicken heterozygous for both traits PPRR PPRR, phenotypic outcomes and ratios. Walnut comp P R then 9, then Rose comp is PPR 3, then P comp PRR 3, then phenotypic ratio 9, then Walnut Rose cos 3, then P1 single. K insight. Incomplete dominance explains that walnut comp phenotype, which blends traits of both P and Rose comps when dominant alleles P and R are present. Epestasis shows how the interactions of two genes influence the final phenotype. For example, the presence of both dominant alleles P and R is essential for expressing the walnut comp trait. Reflections and learning experiences. This activity has been a fascinating exploration of genetic inheritance. It reinforced the principle of Mendelian genetic, like dominance and segregations, while also highlighting the complexity of genetic interaction such as incomplete dominance and epestasis. One of the most valuable lessons from this study is understanding how this concept apply to predicting phenotypic outcomes not just in chickens but in other organisms as well. For example, breeders can use these principles to develop desired traits in livestock or crops. On a broader level, this activity has deepened our appreciation of the complexity of genetic inheritance and its complications in fields like agriculture, medicines, and evolutionary biology. In conclusion, the genetic analysis of comp types in chicken has provided us with both theoretical and practical insights into the fascinating world of genetics. Understanding how traits are inherited help us make informed decisions in breeding, conservation, and genetic research. Thank you for your attention, and we're happy to answer any question you may have.
Good day, everyone. Today we will present our case study on a genetic disorder entitled Down syndrome. This activity aimed to explore the genetic basis, the phenotypic effects, and method of for detecting and managing Down syndrome. Through this case study, we hope to provide a deeper understanding of this chromosomal disorder and its application. There are three objectives, and first is to examine the genetic basis of Down syndrome, particularly its cause and chromosomal abnormality. Second is to analyze the phenotypic effect of the disorder, including physical, cognitive, and medical challenges. And the last is to explore the available methods for detecting and managing Down syndrome, emphasizing early intervention strategies. By achieving this objective, we aim to highlight the importance of genetic research and support programs for individuals with genetic disorders. Let's begin with the genetic basis Down syndrome. Down syndrome, also known as the trisomy 21, occurs when an individual has three copies of chromosomes 21 instead of the usual two. This chromosomal abnormality is usually caused by a non-disjunction event during cell division where chromosome 21 fails to separate properly. As a result, individuals with Down syndrome have 47 chromosomes instead of the normal 46. Next, let's discuss the phenotypic effect of this order. Physical characteristics commonly include low muscle tone, small stature, upwarding slanting eyes, a single deep crease on the palm, and flattened facial profile. Cognitive effects include mild to moderate intellectual disability, language delays, and learning difficulties. Additional individuals with Down syndrome are an increased risk for medical conditions such as congenital heart defects, gastrointestinal issue, hearing problems, and thyroid disorders. Now, let's look at the method used to detect or manage Down syndrome. Prenatal screening test assess the likelihood of Down syndrome. This include the ultrasound to detect physical markers, or the maternal serum screening to measure substances in the mother's blood that may indicate increased risk. The prenatal diagnostic test provide definitive result by analyzing the fetal chromosomes and the chorionic villus sampling, or the CVS, examines or the placental cells. Amniocentesis analyze amniotic fluid after birth. A diagnosis is confirmed through karyotype analysis, which examines the chromosomes in a blood sample. In terms of management, while there is no cure for Down syndrome, early intervention greatly improves quality of life. Some strategies include the physical therapy to enhance motor skills and strength, speech therapy to support language development, and the special education services to maximize cognitive potential. These interventions, combined with proper medical care, allow individuals with Down syndrome to lead meaningful and fulfilling lives. Reflecting of this activity, we have gained valuable insights into the biological mechanism behind genetic disorder like Down syndrome. Understanding its genetic basis has helped us appreciate the importance of early detection and intervention. Studies also highlights the advancement in genetic research and medical care, which have significantly improved the management of Down syndrome. For instance, prenatal tests provide parents with early awareness, while therapy programs empower individuals with the skills they need to thrive. On a broader scale, this case study emphasized the importance of compassion and support for individuals with genetic disorder. By fostering a better understanding of these conditions, we can contribute to creating a more exclusive and supportive society. In conclusion, this care study on Down syndrome has deepened our understanding of genetic disorders and the critical role of earlier detection and management in improving outcomes.
Now, part 3, we have the application of quantitative genetics in animal breeding. The title is Application of Quantitative Genetics in Animal Breeding, Improving Milk Yield in Dairy Cattle. Titled Application of Quantitative Genetics in Animal Breeding, Improving Milk Yield in Dairy Cattle. This study focuses on how quantitative genetics principles can be applied to enhance milk yield in dairy cattle, a key economic trait in the dairy industry. The objective of this activity were first, to understand the genetic basis of milk yield and including the role of additive and non-additive genetic effect. Second, to analyze the selection method of progeny testing for identifying superior sires. And third is to outline the systematic breeding plan for improving milk yield while maintaining other important health traits. By achieving these objectives, we aim to demonstrate how quantitative genetics can be used to make informed and effective breeding decisions in dairy cattle. Next is we have the key findings and analysis. Let's begin with the genetic basis of milk yield. Milk yield is a quantitative trait influenced by both additive and non-additive genetic effects. Additive effects involve the cumulative contribution of multiple genes and are critical for consistent genetic progress. These effects are directly passed to offspring, making them predictable and reliable for long-term improvement. Next is we have the non-additive effect. While this can contribute to heterosis or hybrid vigor, they are less predictable and play a secondary role in genetic improvement. Next, we analyze the progeny testing method for sire selections. Progeny testing evaluates the genetic potential of sire based on the milk yield performance of their daughters. The process involved first is mating sire with a random samples of cow. Second is measuring the milk yield of their daughter over multiple lactations. Third is analyze the data to identify genetically superior sire. And lastly is we have the best sire for future breeding. These methods ensure that environmental factors are minimized, allowing breeders to focus on the genetic contribution of the milk yield. Finally, we outlined a step-by-step breeding plan. First, it's seed breeding objective. Primary goal is increase average milk yield by 10% over 5 years. The secondary goal is maintain or improve health traits like fertility and other health. Second is establish a base population. Record baseline milk yield and pedigree information. Ensuring health traits are considered alongside milk yield to maintain a balanced breeding approach. Third is identify superior sires. Use progeny testing to evaluate bulls based on their daughter's performance. Focus on sires with high milk yield and desirable health traits. This systematic approach ensures sustainable genetic process while addressing both productivity and health. Reflection on learning experience and practical application. Reflecting on this activity, we learned how quantitative genetics principles can be applied practically in animal breeding. The focus on additive genetic effects and the use of progeny testing highlight the importance of informed selection methods in achieving long-term genetic improvement. In practical applications, this breeding program can significantly benefit the dairy industry. By improving milk yield and maintaining health rates, breeders can enhance productivity and profitability while ensuring the well-being of dairy cattle. This study also emphasized the critical role of data collections and analysis in modern animal breeding. Accurate records and systematic evaluations are essential for making effective decisions and that align with breeding objectives. In conclusion, the application of quantitative genetics provides a structured and effective approach to improving milk yield in dairy cattle. By integrating genetic principles with practical breeding methods, we can achieve sustainable progress in the dairy industries.
Good day, everyone. Today we are presenting on the topic exploring modern genetic, the CRISPR or the Cas9 and animal science. This presentation highlights the transformative potential of CRISPR, Cas9 and animal breeding, conservation, and biomedical research. The activity aimed to explore the revolutionary the CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing technology and its applications in animal science. Our objective were to understand how CRISPR-Cas9 works, including its mechanism and precision in genetic modification. And second is to analyze its applications such as the improving disease resistance, productivity, and of conservation efforts in animals. Also to discuss the ethical considerations and challenges associated with its use in animal science. Let's start with how CRISPR or Cas9 works. This gene editing technology relies on two main components. The guide RNA, it directs the Cas9 protein to specific location in the DNA. The Cas9 protein acts as molecular scissors to cut the DNA at the target site. After the DNA is cut, the cell repairs the break using one of two mechanisms. The non-homologous end joining or the NHEG often disrupts genes allowing for target gene knockouts, and homology-directed repair or the HDR enables precise insertion or replacement of DNA sequence. The CRISPR or the Cas9 is highly precise, cost-effective, and versatile, making it a game changer in genetic engineering. Next, we analyze current and potential application in animal science. Disease resistance or the CRISPR has been used to engineer pigs resistant to porcine reproductive and respiratory syndrome or the PRRS, a disease that severely affects the swine industry. Second is improve the productivity. Example include hornless cattle, reducing the need for painful dehorning procedures, and genetic modifications to enhance growth rate, milk yield, and meat quality. And the third is conservation efforts. CRISPR is being explored to preserve endangered species by enhancing genetic diversity or creating hybrids with traits that improve survival, and fourth is biomedical models. The genetically modified animals such as mice are used to study human disease, advancing medical research and drug development. Finally, we examine ethical considerations and challenges. Animal welfare: genetic modifications may lead to unintended consequences affecting animal health and behavior. The regulatory hurdles, strict guidelines govern the development and use of genetically modified organisms, which can slow down research. The public perceptions, skepticism about altering animal genomes, and concerns about potential abuse require transparent communication to build trust. Biodiversity impact: over-reliance on genetically modified breeds could reduce genetic diversity, making population more vulnerable to disease and environmental challenges. Reflecting on this activity, we gain a deeper understanding of the science behind the CRISPR, the Cas9, and its vast potential in animal science. The ability to precisely edit genomes opens door to solving critical challenges, uh, from improving productivity to preserving biodiversity. In practical applications, the CRISPR Cas9 can revolutionize animal breeding by creating disease-resistant animals and improving welfare practices, such as producing hornless cattle. Additionally, its role in conservation and biomedical research highlights its broader impact on both animal and human health. However, this activity is also emphasizes the importance of ethical considerations. Responsible use of CRISPR Cas9 requires addressing animal welfare, maintaining biodiversity, and navigating public perception to ensure that its benefits are realized without unintended harm. Conclusion: the CRISPR Cas9 is a powerful tool that holds immense promise for animal science, offering solutions to critical challenges while raising important ethical questions. By balancing innovation with responsibility, we can harness this technology to benefit both animal and humans.